Welcome to a course on sequence and series. In this lecture, we are going to see Cauchy's condensation test. Let us get into it. Here, in Cauchy condensation test, what is given? We are given some elements which are A1 which is bigger than or equals A2 which is bigger than or equals A3 and it goes on, and all these quantities are non-negative, right? Which means if we talk these things with the help of a sequence, it may be treated in a way that we are given with some sequence of non-negative terms, and this sequence is a monotonically increasing sequence, right? With the help of a non-negative monotonically increasing sequence, we are forming a series, and we will have to prove the convergence of this series whenever another series of this form converge, right? If we have if and only if case, which means this converge only if it converge and this converge only if it converges, right? This is what we are going to prove. In order to prove this, we are going to make use of some other technique. That is, we are not going to assume one thing and we will prove the other one, and assuming this we are going to prove that one. That is what usually we do. But here we will try to establish some relation, and with that relation we are going to say this. Okay, let us get into the proof. Let us take this one as Sn, that is A1, A2, and it goes this way, right? And let us take Tk to be this one. This is when you give k is equal to 0, you will get A1, okay, and when you give k is equal to 1, you are going to get 2A2, then 4A4, and is going to be there till 2 power k, a suffix 2k, and this is going to be till an, right? Now this series, the entire, if you are going to consider the entire thing, let us take this as some s, okay. When you are going to do the same for this case, let us take this as some t, okay. Now consider s. Here in s, what are we going to do is that we are going to combine terms. Okay, how am I going to combine? Let me choose this as a1, okay, then a2 plus a3, then a4, a5, a6, a7. Then what is going to be the case? a8, a9, and it goes till a15, and it goes this way. Okay, here using the condition that this is monotonically increasing, just make a comparison. That is, here what is going to happen for this case alone, okay, only for this case you just make use of the concept what a2 is bigger than a3, right? Here what you have to do, you have a4 which is bigger than a5 and a4 which is bigger than a6 and a4 which is bigger than a7. Okay, this is going to be the case. In between you will have a5, you just omit a5 and just compare these two things. This is going to happen. Okay, so when you make this, you are going to substitute in the place of a3, you are going to substitute a2. It means what? The inequality gets reversed and you are going to substitute. Actually, this may also be written as a3 less than or equals a2. Similarly here, a5 less than or equals a4, a6 less than or equals a4, and a7 less than or equals a4. Okay, this is what we are going to substitute in this, and hence this is turning to be less than or equals a1, a2 plus a2, a4 plus a4 plus a4 plus a4, and it goes this way. And you may notice that it is what? This is a1, 2 times of a2, this is 4 times of a4 and 8 times of a8, and it goes this way. What is this? This is our t. So finally what you get, s smaller than or equals t, and mark this as equation 1. Even now you are going to consider only s and try to combine it in this form: a1, a2, a3 plus a4, a5 to a8, then a9 to a16, and it goes this way. Okay, again we are going to do these calculations here. Here what are we going to do is that a3 is bigger than equals a4, right? And here a5 is bigger than or equals a8, and a6 is bigger than or equals a8, a7 is bigger than or equals a8. Okay, that is how we have here, right? The same thing that we are going to substitute. So this becomes a1, a2, and this becomes what? a4 plus a4. Okay, in the place of a3 I am substituting this. Here in the place of a5, a6, a7 I am going to substitute. So it is going to be a8, 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 a8 for 4 times, and it goes this way, right? When I combine it, it is going to be a1 plus a2 plus 2 times of a4 plus 4 times of a8, and it goes this way. We know what, okay, suppose we have some element x and we have to compare this with x upon 2. Which will be the bigger one? Of course this is going to be the bigger one. Can they be equal? When your x is 0, it can be equal. So we have to identify some quantity which is smaller than this, which means in the place of a1 we have to substitute this. So this becomes what? a1 upon 2, a2, 2 times of a4 plus 4 times of a8, and it goes this way, right? And this may also be written as, okay, actually here we are not having bigger than or equals, it may be written as a1 plus 2a2 plus 4a4 plus 8a8, and it goes this way, this upon 2. Okay. Now finally what you have is s bigger than or equals t upon 2, and this tells you 2s is bigger than or equals t. Take this as equation 2. Now combining 1 and 2, what are you going to get? So combining 1 and 2, you are going to get s smaller than or equals t, which is smaller than or equals 2s. Here, from this you may come to a conclusion that the sequence s as well as the sequence t, these two sequences are either bounded or unbounded together. Okay, and of course when the boundedness is true, one is bounded implies the other is bounded. Here that also leads to the convergence, right? Whenever your s is convergent, t has to be convergent. Whenever your t is convergent, s has to be convergent, and this completes the proof of this theorem, right? Next we will see one more theorem. In the statement you may see that summation 1 upon n power p converges if p bigger than 1 and diverges if p smaller than or equals 1. Okay, let us get into the proof directly. We know that summation an converges. This implies what? An has to approach 0 as n approaches infinity, right? And from this we may also write when an does not approach 0 as n approaches infinity, summation an diverges. Okay, we just negated the statement, right? This is going to happen. Now when your p value is less than or okay, let us see the case when p value is less than 0. When p is less than 0, what is going to happen? Of course your 1 upon n power p can be written as n power q, where Q is what? Minus P. Right? So, when this is going to be the case, and you know that n can take any values in the set of natural numbers, your n power q does not approach 0 as n approaches infinity. Okay, your p is some negative value. So when your p is a negative value, q becomes a positive value, and hence this cannot happen. Right? That is n per q approaching 0 cannot happen in this case. Okay. Now let us see the case when p is 0. When your p is 0, your 1 upon n power p becomes what? N can take any value in the set of natural numbers, hence it can be any non-zero value to the power 0 means it becomes 1. Hence, your summation 1 upon n power p becomes summation 1, and of course what? Here also it is not happening, right? So your 1 power n does not approach 0 as n approaches infinity. Using these two, you may come to a conclusion that when your p value is smaller than or equal to 0, the given series cannot converge. Okay, and we have just seen in the Cauchy condensation test that summation an converges if and only if summation 2 power k a suffix 2 power k converge. Right? So, using that thing, summation 1 upon n power p converges if and only if summation 2 power k 1 upon 2 power k whole power p converges. Right? In the place of n, we have to substitute 2 power k and we will have to multiply the quantity by 2 power k. So we have done it. Now let us check the convergence of this one and come to this. Okay, what is it? Summation 2 power k upon 2 power kp. This becomes summation 2 power k minus kp and summation k times of 1 minus p. Right? So, and this may be written as 2 power 1 minus p whole power k. We may write this way as well. Now, you just, because here we are going to fix the value of p and we are just going to vary k. Right? When does this series converge? Summation that may be taken as x. Generally I am writing. Okay, this is one of the results that we have seen in the previous videos. X power k converge if absolute of x less than 1. Okay, and is going to diverge if absolute of x bigger than or equals 1. Right? Here by divergent I mean both divergence and oscillates. Okay, diverges, oscillates. All these things I have clubbed by simply saying diverges here. Right? Since we are interested in checking the convergence, I have categorized all of the things into a single term. Okay, now this has to be less than 1. Here you may have noticed that all the quantities are going to be what? Positive quantities. Right? There is no possibility of getting a negative quantity, which means we will have to check when 2 power 1 minus p is less than 1. So this is going to happen for what values of p? This is what we need to check. Okay, here p0 is included here, p smaller than 0 is included here, right? Even if you include p is equal to 0 in this case, you are going to get what? 1 minus 1. Okay, sorry. Right. So, when, here let us do the case, when our 1 minus p is smaller than or equals 0 and when 1 minus p is bigger than 0. Let us do these two cases. Okay, so this is going to tell you what 1 is smaller than or equals p and 1 is bigger than p. Right? These two things that we have to check. Okay, instead of doing this way, let us categorize this into three cases. Right? Case 1 is going to be 1 minus p is 0. Right? And case 2 is going to be 1 minus p bigger than 0. Case 3 is going to be 1 minus p smaller than 0. Right? We will have to check for what values of p this is going to happen. And when your 1 minus p is 0, what is going to happen? Then 2 power 1 minus p becomes 1, which is not less than 1. Hence, in this case, we are going to get divergent. When does your 1 minus p become 0? When p value is when p value equals 1. Okay, this is nothing but when p is equal to 1 case. Right? Okay, here what is going to happen? When this quantity is a positive quantity, here 2 power 1 minus p becomes what? This is some positive quantity. So, this power is something bigger than 1 and summation this 2 power 1 minus p to the whole power k approaches infinity as k approaches infinity. Right? In this case also we are going to get divergence, and this is the case of what? When you take p to this side, this is p less than 1 case. Right? We are left with now what? P greater than 1 case. This is 2 power 1 minus p. This, we know that this is a positive quantity. Of course it will not go below 0. Okay, and it's not 0 as well. So this quantity is going to lie between what? This is less than 1 and this quantity is bigger than 0 as well. Hence, in this case, your summation 2 power 1 minus p whole power k converges. Converges to what? If you are going to take this as your x value, it is going to converge to x upon 1 minus x. That we have seen in the previous video itself. Now we will have to combine all these things and write out what happens. Here, when p value is smaller than 0, you get a divergent one. When p value equals 0, you are get divergent. When p value less than 1, you are getting divergent. When p value equals 1, you are getting divergent. So, your summation 1 upon n power p diverges for p smaller than or equals 1, because equal to 1 is included here. Here we have spoke in the case of 0 less than p less than 1. For this case we have spoken that, and for p equals 0 we have spoken here, and for p less than 0 we have spoken here. All these four cases we have clubbed into only one thing, and hence summation 1 upon n power p converges for p bigger than 1. Right? Thank you for watching.